And right now, the data is not being recorded. It's just streaming it, but it's not storing it anywhere. So in order to start a recording, you're going to want to go to the bottom of the screen where it says record. Okay. You're going to, before you do that, make sure you choose the data rates that you want. You have the graphs out that you want, the axis that you want to display, and everything set up. And then go ahead and hit the record button. And the data will clear, and a new set of data will begin, and this data will be recorded. So I can go ahead and maybe do an experiment where I'm measuring the orientation of the PocketLab in relation to Earth's gravity using the accelerometer. And then I can go ahead and hit stop when I want to stop the recording. Now, I can do a couple things now that I'm in what's called review mode. So in review mode, I can hover my cursor over the different data points, and I will see the data being displayed here, the values of the data being displayed below the graph. So if I hover my cursor here, I see the value at that time for X, Y, and Z. So I can hover over to kind of read the different data points. Okay. I can double click to zoom out and sort of view the entire graph. And if I want to zoom in on certain points of the graph, I click and then drag, and it'll zoom in the window that I sort of drag open. So I click and drag, and that you see that highlights a little window, and then it'll zoom in on that. So I can zoom in all the way on a single point. Okay, and then if I want to go back out and view the entire graph again, I again double click, and I'll see the entire graph from the experiment. I can replay the experiment. So I can rewatch what happened with the data. I can still go back, even if I didn't turn off axes before my data collection, I can always go back and turn those off. Okay, now that you're done in review mode and you want to save your data, you can go down to the lower right-hand corner of the graph where you'll see a button that says Export Data. And you can click on that, and it will export as a CSV file. All of your data will export as a CSV file. So then you can do further analysis in Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. In Chromebook, it has a nice integration right into Google Drive. So you just go ahead and click on Upload to Google Drive, and then we'll upload to your Google Drive account that you have linked to your Chromebook. Now, to clear the data, there's a button next to Export Data that says Clear, so I clear that. And now I've left review mode, and I'm back into just streaming the data live. Now, if I want to change to any of the different graphs that the PocketLab Voyager that we can view with the PocketLab Voyager, I can go ahead and in the upper left-hand corner, there's an icon that looks like a graph. If I click that, I then pull up a list of all the different graphs that we can look at with the PocketLab Voyager sensors. I'll show you here how to switch to the different graphs. So right now, you'll see that the acceleration is highlighted, and we're displaying acceleration there in the background. If I want to measure, let's say, magnetic field, I click on magnetic field. Now you'll notice that both acceleration and magnetic field are now highlighted, and if you look in the background behind the window, you'll see that both the acceleration graph and the magnetic field graph are being displayed. That's because I have both of them highlighted. So if I want to just look at magnetic field, I go back up to acceleration and I click on it again, and now that sort of unhighlights acceleration, and now just magnetic field is being displayed. So now when I go down to the bottom, I hit OK. Now we're measuring magnetic field. You can actually do up to 3 graphs. So let's say I wanted to look at humidity, dew point, and heat index. To look at heat index, I need to unclick magnetic field, so I've unhighlighted it, and now I can still click on one more graph to look at. So I'll go ahead and click on heat index, and now I'm looking at humidity, dew point, and heat index all at once.